After a layoff and several years of underemployment and unemployment and temporary employment, I was really stuck. And I doubted whether I would ever reach my potential in the world of work. I joined Shifting Gears because I needed a structured approach to getting out of my own way and replacing some very entrenched beliefs I had about myself. What helped me the most was this shared acknowledgement that there is a process to endings, and I had stayed there way too long. We progress better in the company of helpers and peers who are championing our efforts and going through the same thing that we're going through. From now on, I will be acting on the first thing I notice that I'm avoiding and saying yes in my head and out loud to any opportunity I have to listen and tell stories with someone, because that's the essence of networking. Thank you.
I usually break up at these things, so I had lost my job, I was discouraged, and it was really neat to have a friend. I can't believe it's this quick, though. When you're discouraged, you have a friend refer you to do something. That was great. And when I read about Shifting Gears, thank you, Diana and Amy, it was perfect for me. And I needed framework, and I needed community, and I got it, and thank you.
I have been a paternity lab director doing DNA testing to determine who's the daddy. Lots of expert witness testimony, education of the end users, etc. I joined Shifting Gears to find a new career that I could be passionate about. My best experience by far has been the community of wonderful people, participants and organizers alike, that I've been surrounded with for these several months. I have learned principally how to network effectively, and I've learned how to present my core skill sets to prospective employers. Going forward, I plan to be much better prepared for any future transitions that might come my way, willingly or otherwise. And I hope to be able to pay it forward, and thank you all in that manner.
I was in a place prior to Michigan Shifting Gears where I was in the cycle, the vicious, crazy cycle of sending out resumes, waiting for a reply, not getting a reply, and just back and forth. And so I read about Michigan Shifting Gears, and I said, hey, there has to be a better way. And I signed up and joined, and everything that I've experienced here has been more than what I expected. And one of the key revelations that I had while going through the program, and all the things that I've experienced with it, is that the world is bigger than Fortune 500 companies, and that's a space that I had worked in for my entire career. And I always felt if you work for Ford, GM, Pfizer, something like that, then there were no jobs or nothing to do. Well, my eyes got opened big time through Michigan Shifting Gears, and what I found is a way to take the skills that I had and all the abilities that I have and package them and communicate them in such a way that I'll be able to work in any place, small or large, and be successful. And so I want to thank everybody involved with the program for that. And I also want to say that Cohort 19, you've been the best group of people to go through Shifting Gears with, and we'll never forget each other. So thank you too.
I've always been in love with work. And for the past 20 years, I lived in an organization where that love affair thrived. I worked with extraordinary people, did amazing things, learned and unlearned. I was able to take risks. I succeeded, I failed, and I did things that contributed to the world in a meaningful and useful way, and found myself suddenly and abruptly a soloist. I was wandering. I came to Michigan Shifting Gears looking for an orchestra to create and to play with. And what I found were ideas and tools and processes and people. talented people, gifted people, smart, skilled, competent people. People who were wise and generous and kind and funny and fun. And through this great cacophony of characters, I found an orchestra to play with. And my hope is that this will reignite that love affair with work and allow me to do something that's useful and meaningful to the world again. Thank you.
I was an ex-Pfizer employee and information researcher. I came to Ann Arbor because someone said it was a wonderful place to live, and it still is, and it's better now. I started my journey here at Washtenaw Community College when my son and I started college here about 3.5 years ago, and I entered the Internet Professional Program here. And the most valuable lesson that I learned, I was kind of stuck. I didn't know what to do. I was a user experience specialist, and I had problems saying that because I wasn't really sure what that was. And with my internship at Growing Hope, I'm helping them with their new website, and I'm doing a card sort, and I got positive feedback from Amanda Edmonds. And I am a user experience specialist, and what I realized is I've always been one. I've just traded test tubes for the internet, but I really love working with clients, and my future opportunities, I hope, will embrace my love of health, and that's preventative health, science, and technology. Thank you very much.
I came into Shifting Gears. For me, it was a transition period of owning my own business for 30 years and not knowing what to do because it wasn't doing well. And I found on the Shifting Gears website a couple of nuggets that I've taken with me throughout this course. And the first one was just a little statement that said, stop watering the weeds. I realized that I had been putting effort into my business and it wasn't going anywhere, and I had to let go of it. So I came into Shifting Gears, and I brought with me my own skills, my personal skills that I had, and I was hoping to gain some skills to go along with that. And that brought me to the second thing that I saw on the Michigan Shifting Gears website, which was a story, I believe it's attributed to Abraham Lincoln. They asked him one time, if we gave you 6 hours to chop down that tree, what would you do? And he thought about it, and he looked at him, and he said, I'd take the first 4 hours, and I'd sharpen my axe. And that's what I think I've been doing here, is I've been sharpening the skills that I brought with me, and I've been sharpening the skills that I've been given through Shifting Gears. And I hope to be able to use those in my future and go on from there. So I want to thank the people at Shifting Gears, those who developed the program, the people who hosted our cohort, the people behind the scenes at our cohort, and especially all my fellow cohort members who have been a great, great, great joy to me to be with. To work with, a great encouragement to me, and I just hope the best for all of you. Thank you.
I have a background in human resources as customer service rep, employee relations coordinator, and I was working in office support. I wanted to come to Michigan Gears to look at other career options, see what was out there, and I also wanted to expand my network. One of the best experiences that I had, surprisingly, not many people mention it, but it was the business simulation. I found, as a result of that, I found that I found out I have some other skills that I can use and develop. From that and other experiences in the program, I found that I could work on and tell my story better. I also found that I could improve my resume format, and going forward, I hope to stay connected with everybody, with everyone in the program. I hope to find a position that would use my knowledge, skills, and abilities, and I appreciate all the people who are in the program, my peers, the members, the volunteers, the leaders, and I especially appreciate my mentor who has helped me out.
I was before joining Michigan Shifting Gears, I was a product engineer, but I got laid off. I joined Michigan Shifting Gears. I have to define myself and my career for the future. One of the most valuable experience for me was the internship out of so many programs. I was able, as a result, I learned a new CAD software. I was able to redesign laser probe in a short time. When I finished, I was so happy within 80 hours of doing that. Now, the future is here. I'm more equipped to deal with my employment problem. And thank you, Michigan Shifting Gears.
I've been a photographer for the last, well, for all of my life, but professionally for the last 6 years. And I'd spent the last November tapping my stapler, waiting for the phone to ring, and it wasn't ringing like it used to. And I said, I can't continue to do this, and maybe I need to relook at myself and refocus. I had 20 years of prior experience in small business, and I needed to make sure that I was looking at that also. So what I've learned from shifting gears is maybe you don't need to look for a new profession, but relook at yourself and figure out how to build on what you do know. And the main thing is that you need to build on the relationships you've had and don't let them fall by the wayside, and then continue to build new relationships through networking. So am I ready to fly like a bird? Probably not yet, but I'm well on my way to building a better future for myself.
I was in transition. I needed to re-enter the workforce. I had no idea how to even start that process. I was quite literally stuck in the mud. I joined Michigan Shifting Gears looking for some focus and some direction as to how to even begin the process. What I thought I needed was more technical skills, but what I've learned is what I really lacked wasn't technical skills at all, it was confidence. And the valuable part of this program was the safe neutral zone to figure that out. The program has provided me with the sand and the shovel, the tools that I need to get unstuck, and the facilitators and the other participants and the volunteers have given me that extra push. So in the future, I'm planning to not be stuck and to be actively pursuing a new career as opposed to thinking about it. Thank you.
I came to Shifting Gears to find a new path. I was ready to give up on a career I loved that was wiped out by the recession in real estate acquisitions and development. And I had decided that this was the year of me. I stepped back from a couple volunteer opportunities, and I was going to focus on what I needed to do for me and my family. And I knew I had to do something different or something more than throwing resumes in the email black hole, because it hadn't worked for years, and I could see that it was time to change, the definition of insanity. I was always resistant to networking. I never put the official title to it, so that's my big takeaway is put yourself out there, talk to people. People are willing to help. You can ask for help. You're not imposing. I always felt like I was making them run a marathon instead of just asking for a phone number. And in the future, for me, it's to just keep moving forward. Don't give up on the passion. I had something I loved. I had found it through a different transition, and I'm going to keep going after it. Even though it's hard, I'm going to do it smartly.
In 2009, I had to close a company that was more than 62 years old, and I had built for over 35 years. One of my first thoughts, several of my first thoughts were, well, I'm free of those crazy automotive customers. I can do something else that interests me. And I figured, how hard could that be? I had so many interests and so unsuccessful in finding my next move, I didn't know where to turn. And I thought this program could help narrow my direction and introduce me to some new and interesting people. So as a result of the program, I discovered a lot about my own needs. I found directions, and I did meet some people who became important sources of information, and I expect will be resources for me in the future with my future plans. I want to end by saying that one of the things I think about is how I will use these insights that I've gained in the future to prove that for my generation it's true that the 60s are the new 40s. And I hope to keep working for years and years and years because that's what I enjoy doing. And I want to thank everybody at Shifting Gears for all their help, and Amy, who I worked with, and Janet, who I see is here. So thank you so much.
I'm from Belgium, and I have been an environmental consultant for 15 years in my home country. So I joined the Shifting Gear program because I wanted to know a little bit more about myself, my skills, and not so my skills. And also because I wanted to connect with the Michigan business community. So what I loved about the program is the fact that it's a nice blend between personal growth, quality networking, and it starts here in the room, and getting to know the traits of small businesses that are not the same as big industries. It's only when we follow our hearts that we can give the best of what we have and give back to the community. So what I want to do here, it's the same thing as I have done, in Belgium. I love the environment, I love health, and I want to help the community here in any ways. Thank you.
I'm a retired innovator with a track record of creating new ventures in both my professional R&D career and in my volunteer work in the Great Lakes Bay region. I joined the Shifting Gears program this winter to explore opportunities for me to find opportunities in the entrepreneurial economy in the Great Lakes Bay region. And the best experience for me as part of the program was the internship I did at the Mid-Michigan Innovation Center in Midland, Michigan, which gave me the opportunity to interact with entrepreneurs on a daily basis and come to realize that they didn't have it all figured out before they got started. Through that experience, I came to the realization myself that it's time for me to focus my energy on my dream. My dream to start, I'll call it a tinkering school, a makerspace for middle school students where they can learn to build their own creative confidence and build technical problem-solving skills. Thank you.
I started my life out pretty passionately involved in clinical trials, studied genetics, and I thought I had to stay there. And I joined Michigan Shifting Gears because I thought I could reinvent myself. And a part of that was looking inside and realizing that I loved computer programming and only studied a little bit of it. Genetics is coding, And so these are the connections I made. And then I also realized I didn't have to let everything go. I could integrate it into my life. And that other people saw value in me. I always thought someone would have to drag me along, but oddly, I do have a partnership. And as a result of all the homework, I can honestly say that my future is about committing to an app company and starting to create something, worthwhile in a partnership. And it feels very light and freeing, so thank you.
So, like most young adults, as soon as I graduated college, I left the country. Seek bigger, better opportunities. For along that time, 6-7 years, something called me back. It wasn't the weather, but something. So I decided to join Michigan Shifting Gears to see if this new Michigan economy was actually something I wanted to be a part of. And what I've learned over the last 3 months is that this new community of people, companies, organizations is really powerful, and this new economy has a lot going for it. So I want to be a part of it. Thank you.
I used to be a person that defined myself by my job as an automotive engineering manager. I retired from General Motors and came straight to Shifting Gears at the advice of a friend. to help me with my career transition. My most valuable experience here has been the sharing this journey with the wonderful members of this cohort and the guidance of our facilitators. I learned that there's a tremendous amount of talent in this group. It's amazing the amount of talent that we had here in this group of people, and I'm really impressed by how quickly this group formed cohesive relationships to help each other and support each other on this journey. Going forward, I will be more proactive in developing relationships. Currently, I'm enjoying new experiences as a real estate agent, and I'm exploring new opportunities in real estate investment through my internship, and I'm also exploring small business ownership. But in the future, rather than defining myself by my job, I hope to define myself by my relationships. I thank all the members of this cohort. I will maintain a lot of friendships from here and keep you in my prayers.
I remember the day I got the invitation on email for Shifting Gears. I remember saying to my husband, well, this is easy. After 37 years in healthcare, I pretty much know it all. And I want to start, a little consulting company. So this will be a good way. If nothing else, they'll introduce me to small businesses that I can consult with. And since I know it all, it's going to be pretty easy. But, I went through a big change. And the big change was an internal change. And that's because of all of you and the sense of community we have here at Shifting Gears. Instead of fear, I am now friends with uncertainty, even though I'm, the old shore's behind me and I can't see it anymore, and the new one isn't quite visible yet. Still, I know it's coming, and I'm very happy about it. And in the future, I'm going to be working with people, doing some consulting. I'm on my way, creating success on purpose, because success is not an accident. Success happens on purpose. Thank you to all of you.
Before Shifting Gears, I was unemployed. That's why I got involved with Shifting Gears. I liked the fact that they had an 86% success rate. That spoke to me. I have done all of these things on my own. What I learned was the power of the network. All of you, wonderful people. That is the most valuable thing that I got out of this. The thing that I'm going to do is keep that pipeline full. Always have something in reserve, because we never know when the bottom is going to drop out again, and I'm not going to get caught. And in the future, I expect to be employed.
Before Michigan Shifting Gears, I was an educator. I joined Michigan Shifting Gears because I wanted to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. I thought Michigan Shifting Gears could help me with that. The most valuable thing that I learned from Michigan Shifting Gears was that I am the same person that I was when I was 5 years old. I am an educator. That's where my heart is. A couple other lessons that I learned was that networking is very, very important, as is social media, another form of networking. In the future, I hope to share everything that I've learned with anybody that's interested. I'd like to thank the MEDC, Michigan Shifting Gears, and my cohort for everything that you've shared with me.
No, I'm not the actress from California, but I did move from California to Michigan, and I did not have a business network. That is one of the reasons why I joined Michigan Shifting Gears, to gain that network and also to land a full-time position here. One of the most valuable experiences I gained was meeting everyone here in Cohort 18 and 19, and I hope when this program ends that we can continue networking and still remain friends. Now, as a result, I learned two things. One is, once you get a full-time job, always keep networking, because you never know what's going to happen around the corner. And number two is, if you are interviewing for a job and you just feel it's not the right job or the right business culture you want to be in, learn to say no and then move forward. Now in the future, I hope I can always help other people out and always keep networking, and pay it forward. And I want to thank Michigan Shifting Gears for all the experience and opportunities that you have given me.
Before I joined Michigan Shifting Gears, I was actually unemployed, but I had done a career as a military officer as well as an economic development researcher. So I felt my skills were something that should be useful to somebody, the right person. And having known about Michigan Shifting Gears, I thought this is the time to take the opportunity to participate in this, to see if there's some better way to portray my skills and the knowledge that I have, and maybe in a different way, with a different industry, in a different situation than I have in the past. And while I learned an awful lot of things through the program, such as networking, as everyone says, I also learned that I don't have to do everything on my own, because there's a whole bunch of great people that are here that are willing to help me by being, doing what they do best so I can do what I do best. And I look forward to using the skills and knowledge as I transition into different career paths in the future. Thank you.
I'm a journalist, and I joined Shifting Gears to consider and sort of explore the possibilities of the viabilities, actually, of some ideas that I had for developing an app. And as a result, what I discovered through Shifting Gears is the power of surrounding yourself with really talented, bright, and motivating people. I've developed a network of friends and peers in this group that are honest and helpful, and I look forward to the opportunity to continue to develop my project and work with them in the future. Thank you.
Prior to my entering Michigan Shifting Gears, I had found myself at a crossroads myself in my career, kind of gotten off to a pretty rough start. Over the past year, I had lost my job twice, and so kind of found myself in a position, well, why not? What else are you doing? You might as well. And I'm a firm believer that everywhere you go, that there are, so many people who know so many things that you don't. And so that was kind of a motivator in my coming here. And my goal for the program was really just to come and be a sponge, to learn any and everything that I can, and to grow. And in all regards. And so I want to thank everyone who has been a part of the program in terms of the facilitation, the other members of the cohort, because the experience certainly would not have been what it was, and I would not have accomplished that goal without all of you. And so I'm so incredibly thankful to be able to say that dry sponge that I brought in is so full of knowledge. And so again, thank you to all of you for making that happen.
I am a chemical engineer, and I was working at Dow Chemical until the economic downturn, and I was laid off with a lot of other people in 2013. I started looking for jobs on the internet. I started cold calling, and I didn't get a lot of success with that. So I joined Michigan Shifting Gears, and because I'd heard good things about it. I'd heard that a lot of people were successful in getting jobs. Well, I think one of the most valuable experiences I've had was in this program was it got me out of my comfort zone. It got me to volunteer and network, and I found I'm very passionate about some things, and I've even had the opportunity to volunteer for those. As a result of the program, I've learned that networking's not hard. It's just meeting people, and then you find commonalities between the two of you. And I also learned about medium and small size businesses. So in my future, I will continue to network. I find that can be a lot of fun, and volunteer for my passions. And also, I'm going to still look for new opportunities. Thank you.
In my past work experience, I've been involved in design, architectural, and construction project management for retailers and real estate developers around the country. And as the development market declined post-2008, I found myself looking for other opportunities to fill my time. And one of those activities involved joining Shifting Gears to see if there were other venues that might support my skill sets and enable me to continue to stay here in the state and continue to grow. When I joined Shifting Gears, I was kind of surprised, really, when I realized how many other individuals there were out there like myself who were looking for opportunity and looking for fulfilling work in their new career. As a result of my experience here, I realized that one of the things I have to do is network, network, network. It goes without saying, and that as I do so, hopefully I will continue to explore those opportunities and ultimately find work, meaningful work, here in the state and moving forward. Thank you.
I was a person in need of direction. I was discouraged by my life circumstances. I joined Shifting Gears because I needed help identifying new career activities. I wanted some help re-entering the job market. One of the most important things that I learned is that if you have a network, that you have to develop it. And I added new people to my network. And I think that I'm going to be able to reach out to people in my new network, and they're going to sustain me for the rest of my life in my new career when I find it. I'd like to say that I've been through a lot of personal changes, and I expect the last part of my life, my new career, to be a success. And I thank all of you in the program for helping me. Chief.
Blake Eitner, managing partner of the Marriage Group, a successful online training company for 5 years. What? Shifting Gears, an opportunity to try something completely new with people who didn't have a preconceived notion of who I was. Why? Because I was told that I was difficult to work with, and I was asked to leave. Where? This building. After one of our sessions, I was counseled that I had just done a great example of intellectual arrogance, but it would be okay because in 2 weeks we were going to study that, and I could learn from it, which was great. But my real takeaway was that because I shared that with the group, I made a connection with somebody who also felt that way, and it really was, it reinforced to me that other people are in the same boat as I am, and that I had a ways to go, but I had people that were there too. And finally, when, that would be today, tomorrow, now, this kind of a new journey with peers and mentors and really friends.
Before Shifting Gears, I was an independent consultant in the large corporate market. And I was experiencing the frustrations of limited scope and vision that is pervasive in that arena today. And I found Shifting Gears as an opportunity to explore the small business sector and small business and middle market to see if there is a way to deploy my skills and leverage my experiences in a different and more meaningful way than in large corporate. And I can say thank you to everyone and all the facilitators, as I have validated that I think someone will pay me in the small business market to do that. So one of the most valuable things I got out of this was a mentor who is a consultant in the small business market, very successful. He helped me validate that, reposition myself, learn how to start to market myself, and actually build a consulting business instead of a consulting practice, which is how I'd been moving from one contract to another previously. So thank you to all of you for helping me get Shifting Gears.
I come to you with experience in everything from sales, marketing, manufacturing, merchandising, the list goes on. The reason I joined Shifting Gears was to find direction and focus for my career. The most memorable experience, the best experience, was my internship with Amy Sell at the MEDC, helping create an entrepreneurial concierge service, which will continue on past this for at least a short time. And in the future, I intend to follow my passion of helping others to follow their passion. Thank you.
I'm a web and graphic designer, and before Shifting Gears, I had varied levels of success. Some good times, but also some very lean times. And I was interested in coming to Shifting Gears to shift my business into a higher gear. And through the program, I learned that I had a network, but that my network probably didn't know enough about me to actually hire me or help me find other work. And so through the program, I found out that I could make use of this huge network I've had, all my life, and get more work and more consistent work and move my career along. And that's turned out really well. In the past couple of months, I've been really busy with work, and it's been paying fairly well. And I'm hoping that as the program ends, that I'll continue to stay at a nice level of work and keep doing more and more prestigious and higher paying projects.
I was in transition, de-energized, didn't really have much of a sense of direction. The most important experience I had here really was seemingly innocuous in the moment. I introduced a classmate to the wife of a friend. Now, that connection may well turn into full-time employment. Again, seemingly innocuous. Obviously, this underscores the power of networking, but more importantly, it ignited my appreciation of community. The profound delight that I experienced as a result of having helped this person with no expectation of anything in return, honestly was radical. So in the future, I really hope that I will be able to retain that sense of community, the understanding of the importance of community, and of my own value in it. Thank you.
I recently relocated from California to Michigan because my parents are getting older. I joined Shifting Gears to improve my local network, and one of the most valuable experiences I've gotten in the program is to practice networking with other people in the group. As a result, I learned an effective, deliberate system of networking and also the power of why in telling your personal story. In the future, I'm planning on being a successful participant in the new Michigan economy, and I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody in the room who's made this program possible.
I've lived in the great state of Michigan for most of my life and worked for companies that have been based outside of Michigan and not really worked in Michigan. So coming to Michigan Shifting Gears, my vision was to get connected in the state of Michigan and try to help Michigan out. I've had a pretty good career, and so Michigan Shifting Gears really focused for me my networking skills, and I always felt I was pretty good at networking. So I would tell you that the unexpected opportunities will come in a way that you could never imagine through your networking skills, and you don't have to act like it's networking, just telling your story, which actually Shifting Gears really helped me refine my story.
I was a training professional who was at risk of being replaced by PowerPoint. I joined Shifting Gears to find true meaning in my career, to identify personal strengths and weaknesses, and to begin working on the weaknesses. One of the most valuable experiences of shifting gears allowed me to understand the value of a business partnership. And as a result, I learned that one of my weaknesses was my own independence. Having a business partner allows me to ask stupid questions. And in the future, I will be a coach, a collaborator, a mentor, but most importantly, I will actively be pursuing entrepreneurship as an activity. Thank you.